Hello everyone, welcome back to Rolling Solo. My name is Adam Smith, and in this video we're going to be unboxing an expansion for a very well-known and beloved solo game, Terraforming Mars. This expansion is the Turmoil expansion coming from Stronghold Games, and just so you're aware, this is the Kickstarter version. I've already gone ahead and removed the wrap, which had a Kickstarter sticker on it, so there will be components inside this box that may not show up and likely won't show up in the retail version. You'll have to do some research on your own between the Kickstarter page and the retail edition to determine those components, but in this video we're going to go through everything you can find inside this box. So we'll start it off by flipping over the box, taking a look at what this game has to expand upon with Terraforming Mars, and then we're going to dive inside. It's a time of turmoil for the human civilization on Mars. Different ideologies and agendas vie for political power, while terrible dust storms and other disasters threaten the progress of the Martian societies. Send your own delegates to influence the Terraforming Committee and prepare your corporation for the events lurking on the horizon. Find a way to prosper through the challenges ahead. So as it notes at the very bottom of this box, Turmoil is going to let you get involved in politics and navigate in a changing world. Delegates influence the Terraforming Committee, and global events set the path to the future. It also includes new cards and corporations. This is an expert expansion to Terraforming Mars, so if you've already got the base game and you're looking for expansions to pick up for it, this might be one you want to wait on, as there's a number of other expansions you might want to check out with Terraforming Mars first. I have unboxings for those on the channel, and then you can come back to this one, but if you're looking for something more expert level, this is exactly what you're looking for. It says Turmoil is played together with the main game and may be combined with any other expansion and variant, which is very handy depending on what you currently own, and it adds about 30 minutes to the game length. Opening up the box, you're going to be greeted with the Turmoil expansion booklet, which is thankfully only a handful of pages, so you're not going to be reading a ton in order to get this thing to the table, and on top of that, the introduction and setup is all on one page, so that's actually quite nice. There's only 5 steps in the main setup over here, so that's a nice bonus. Over here you've got a little breakdown of all the components inside the box: the dominance marker, Terraforming Committee board, the global event board, and different areas of those boards and what they mean. So that's a good overview in terms of an illustration out of the gates. This is really where you're going to find the meat of this expansion in terms of rules and game concepts. This is going to talk about all the different individuals, delegates, party leaders, chairmen, dominant parties, all the different parties involved, and as you move across this, you'll get a better understanding of how Turmoil actually integrates itself and is used. Moving to the back here, we talk more about the global events, and then we get into the final scoring section down below. Then finally, at the end of this book, we have this section right here at the very, very top. It says Solo with Turmoil. So I'm actually going to go ahead and read this out, but you can see there's a whole step here in the back. Combine the rules for Turmoil with the solo rules for the main game and add any expansions you want to add. Note that Red's ruling bonus and some global events have special cases for the solo game. Decide before setup if you want to terraform in the allotted time or reach TR63, and in brackets it says see prelude rules. So there is some things to note there in regards to solo play with Turmoil, but definitely can be integrated in. We've got the whole solar phase here also broken out all the way along. Solo play was in Terraforming Mars from the get-go, all the way from the base game and throughout the expansion. So very, very cool to see them continually adding to this particular game, as it's a very beloved one in the solo gaming community. Here we have the dominance marker. There are a number of delegate tokens that come inside of this particular game. Now again, these may be Kickstarter exclusive, as they are quite nice for the components. Of all the colored translucent ones, there are 7 of each of those, and for that gray one there on the far left, there's 14 of them. This is an up-close look of the global event board, so you can go ahead and pause the screen if you'd like to read anything on this, but we did take a look at this illustration inside of the rule book, but now you can see it up close and all the different text involved with this board. Next we have a Puncho board with 6 ruling policies on it. And here we have the Terraforming Committee board. So right here we've got the ruling bonuses that are applied. We've got the delegate areas all labeled out. We also have the chairman seat right there in the middle and the party leader seats right here. Again, those tokens we saw earlier are going to be distributed around this committee board as part of the gameplay. The ruling policy will also sit up here. These next items inside the Turmoil box, now I believe these are Kickstarter exclusive. Someone can let me know in the comments below if I'm incorrect, but this is the reason, if I remember correctly, why I was even more excited than normal for a Terraforming Mars expansion, especially because this one went to Kickstarter. But this particular set in front of you are 5 player boards that are actually recessed, allowing you to finally have a Terraforming Mars solution for those player boards that allows you to keep your cubes in place without having to go after third-party solutions, of which I have definitely done in the past, and not all of them have been great. Originally, the player boards were completely flat, and you just put your cubes on those different markers and hoped not to bump the table. Well, that definitely would happen, and even when you found third-party solutions, some of them were just simply putting a tray over top of the actual player board itself, which really kept the cubes in place, but as soon as you bump things would still shuffle and sometimes fall out. So this is really nice to see, especially that they're very, very well recessed to the point that I don't think anything will be moving around, and even the areas where we're going to be housing things up in these sections are all walled off around and down here as well. So that's just fantastic, because this is something that honestly should have been part of the original experience, but they obviously heard the calls for this and it was included as part of Turmoil. Very happy. So what you're going to see here is 5 of the exact same thing, but these are probably some of the most exciting pieces in the whole box. What I have not yet seen in the rulebook that we went through was any mention of these, so it makes me think that these definitely won't be in the retail version. Now I think it's time to dig through some cards inside of Turmoil. So of course you have the Stronghold Games card at the very beginning here. So let's go through each of these. I'll try my best to keep them on screen long enough that you can pause it and you can go ahead and read anything you'd like, but of course I won't be able to read absolutely everything because there's quite a bit of iconography on these cards plus text. But you can also see that artwork which is in there, which is always eye-catching for sure. So we'll go through this. This is a smaller deck than the other one. Again, I'll try my best to keep the thumb off of the text down below so you guys are able to completely read all of these cards. Got the Taurus there. We got the Titan-Venus Alliance. Immigration to Venus. Colony Boom. Okay, we got some ones over here, kind of horizontal corporation cards. Couple blank cards at the back. That's kind of interesting. I'll flip these over and see if there's any differences on the back side. So this is the artwork of what it looks like on the back of the cards. Ah, that's very different. That's got to be specific to Turmoil. And then you got the basic ones there that we're all familiar with. Again, starting off with some nice artwork and the Stronghold Games logo right there. We'll move through these cards. We got some corporations here. Now, it could be that the smaller pack that I just saw was actually maybe some Kickstarter exclusives that come with only backing the Kickstarter. So if that's the case, that would make sense as to why that was a smaller pack. And this is a more large pack. But I'll let you guys in the comments below, let me know, because this is the first time I'm opening it up. So I might be wrong. But that's the general gist I am getting here. Democratic Reform, we got mining restrictions, SolarNet, kinds of different cards in here. Again, doing my best to try to give you a chance to see everything on the card and give it a read if you'd like to pause the screen. These ones don't have a ton of artwork on them. That's one thing I am noticing. They're more focused on the iconography, the gameplay, and the text of what's actually happening, or what does this card actually do. So that's definitely a change. A lot more serious that way. I did really like having all the artwork on it, so, but these cards may just not make any sense to have artwork on it based on what Turmoil is all about, being very political. There we go, getting back to some of the typical, oh wow, banned delegate, that does not look good. Cultural Metropolis, these are, now this is the artwork again, awesome stuff. Media Center, Parliament Hall, PR Office, Public Celebrations, Recruitment, Red Tourism Wave, some research going on there, Dome, Vote of no confidence. The second I see or hear that phrase, I immediately think of Star Wars. I don't know why. It's ground into my brain for some reason. Thank you, prequels. Parties and parties against. These must be the reference cards. So we'll flip them over so you can see if there's any artwork differences in the back here. It looks like there is. So we got some artwork differences there. These are all the same as what we've come to expect for Terraforming Mars. And then, of course, this must be the new back for Turmoil, for these specific Turmoil-based cards. Very, very cool. And that is going to do it. So, as I mentioned, that wraps up the unboxing of Terraforming Mars Turmoil. I really hope this helps you make an informed decision on the expansion. Again, make sure you do your research in terms of what components inside this unboxing you're seeing right now, which is a Kickstarter version. So I don't want to have anyone head to retail, pick up anything, and realize certain things that are in this unboxing aren't actually going to be in that copy. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, keep on rolling solo.